Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
And hello viewers, welcome to round 6 of the MSR Formula V10 League here at Monza, and a very rainy Monza, I have to say myself, and always of course joined by WMDR Martin.
How do you do?
We had an extremely rainy circuit and an extremely straight line circuit, especially for qualifying, where you can just see how much rain there is on the track right now. And hopefully it isn't laggy for you guys, because I know that sometimes the rain can really make the game lag. Oh my god, it's absolutely torrential. I'm struggling to see the cars.
I feel like there's more spray than there was during practice, yeah.
But yeah, quite a wet qualifying, but for the race is going to be very much who's got the better strategy, as we're going to see it maybe hit some wet conditions at the start, but then see a lot drier conditions as there won't be any rain towards the end. So whether some people are going to choose to go on wets or even swap onto the inters and then finally finish on slicks, I do genuinely wonder if we're going to see that sort of strategy here today.
Yeah, we could be seeing a lot of strategic variation today. Some people potentially starting on the full wets, others starting on the inters. And if you're starting on the inters, you're just going to need one pit stop straight to the slicks. But if you're starting on those full wets, it might be a bit more difficult to make that one-stop switch.
Yeah, quite right. I have also done a bit of research though. The inters do, it seems to be from when I was doing a bit of practice myself, that the inters, when it came to race conditions, they seem to wear a lot more compared to the wet tyre. So whether we're going to see maybe some drivers pick the wet, I mean, I definitely think at the start of the rule, that's okay, it's going a bit wider. Hopefully that doesn't invalidate his lap. Yeah, whether that strategy of maybe some people decide to pick the wet even though they know it will get drier towards the end, or whether people are going to risk it on the inters at the start and absolutely get destroyed by those people at the start on the wet tyres.
Oh, there's already people missing turn 1, going over the curbs. But Nismo, I am wondering, did you test those inters in full wet conditions or when it was drying up?
I actually hopped on I was on the MSR server. So for those of you who don't know, we have a server up where people can practice with the conditions of the race. So I was very much practicing with the conditions of the race, as it were. Also, hello Trouble. Yeah, it seemed that they were just wearing and tearing a lot more than the actual wets themselves. So whether that was actually due to maybe different conditions at different times, maybe I got it completely wrong. Which hopefully I don't, but yeah, we're going to be seeing some interesting strategy. RuneLink already setting a 133.5. He takes provisional pole with Tomahawk 7 tenths behind him in second place. So,
And another thing I'd like to make a remark on as well is the fact that if you do not run traction control, it's been brought to my attention, you will be about half a second faster per lap on this track. So some people will be trying to take that risk, but as you can see, not always paying off as he rides a lot of curb there. But Xevious now in provisional P2.
yeah, Xevious is definitely, I wouldn't say has been as high up as one might see. Maybe these wetter conditions so far, I mean there are 10 minutes left, maybe these more wetter conditions suiting the Jordan driver, but it's all to be seen. Something I also have noticed is under the bridge, I think, well, from when I was practicing it was dry because of course it was under a bridge, but I think I see a puddle forming there, so hopefully that won't catch out too many drivers. I remember from the Project Cars 2 days where essentially it just felt like you were driving over ice for about 5 seconds and you just end up going straight off into Ascari.
Yeah, that's never a fun moment, but I did take a look during practice and it didn't seem to be anything too serious forming over there, so I think they should be fine there. But there is a nasty one in Ascari itself, so we're going to see a lot of drivers try and keep to the left of that corner. I've heard that it may be better to get your laps in early as well, as it may cost you up to a second a lap to avoid that big puddle. And we've actually got Kunishek and Delau now taking the top 3 positions.
Yeah, some drivers which we don't normally see high up are actually seem to be getting the confidence to take those P2 and 3 positions. Still quite a way away from RuneLink, but it's going to be we'll see as Ultimate K's beating RuneLink by ever so slight, less than half a tenth. And Roman GR as well, really close behind, not able to...
less than a tenth away too.
Yeah, not able to take P1 or 2, but they're all within a tenth of each other. Wild Package 3 tenths out from that pack, but wow, the top 3 absolutely... That's close for qualifying, I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're seeing improvements like that, because, I mean... you'd figure track evolution should be going backwards, but everyone seems to be improving on their laps. So I'm not sure if that's just the tires getting better, but the track should be getting wetter and wetter for this qualifying session. Of course, it's going to be the opposite for the race, but for now, it's going to be very, very challenging from here on out. Now, we do have a lot of drivers that are exactly 6/10 away from P1. That's Kunishek, Shad, Tomahawks, and Xevious, all separated by pretty much half a tenth. And the top 3 as well, separated by less than a tenth, so it's very, very fine margins in this session.
Exactly. I mean, this track is quite a high speed, and you very much have to master it if you want to be quick. You've got to understand those perfect braking zones. Luckily, with this track, there is a lot of off, but whether maybe this rain might pull into effect, where you might end up going off and maybe be able to stop on a dry track, but since you might be on a wet track and maybe the outside might be even more wet than the normal racing line, we might see some people going off as Ultimate K's goes 4 tenths quicker than RuneLink and improving by his time by quite a bit more.
And it seems like a lot of drivers are a good 2 seconds away from the current provisional pole, so we may be seeing quite a gap in the wet. I'm not sure if it's gonna converge a little bit more in the dry for during the race, but it seems to be very, very challenging. Of course, this is also a track where if you make one tiny mistake, it will cost you a lot of time due to all the long straights coming after almost every corner. And the way to find time on this track, it really is all in either in the setup or in the very fine margins.
I mean, with the weather as well, there's even more chance to make mistakes as well. I mean, I drove that track while we were doing some testing earlier to see if you could make it. I was driving around this track, and at some moments I just could not get the power down and ended up whacking the wall and getting quite bad damage. So,
and see, that's exactly why some people are going to be running a bit more downforce than you'd typically like to run on this track, and others are going to be running traction control as well, which can further slow you down. But we now have Tomba, again, less than a tenth away from pole, so these margins are continuing to be very, very tiny. I
mean, you were talking about the track potentially getting worse. I know for a fact that unlike Project Cars, I know you're going to hate me saying this, Martin, but unlike Project Cars, you can start the conditions with a wet track, so maybe there's getting a bit less water as RuneLink sets the fastest lap by almost 4 tenths ahead of K. It seems like the track actually, surprisingly as it is getting better and better. I would have
never... That makes no sense though.
I mean, maybe the rain is... I mean, I wouldn't expect the rain to light up, or maybe some people are getting their tyres in optimum... in their optimum window, essentially.
No, because we've seen people go into the pits and come out on multiple occasions. I think most of our top drivers have been in and out of the pits a couple of times already, so it doesn't seem to be that the tires get good after a few laps. It just seems that either they're actually doing less mistakes in these laps, or the track is just improving.
Yeah, I mean,
and we've currently got about 5 minutes left, and Binding has not yet set a time.
Oh, I mean, track limit.
Be serving a penalty for some sort of incident?
I can't recall, so I mean, unless he got a D-class penalty last time, but I do not remember a D-class penalty at all popping up in the verdicts. So he's definitely going to be under pressure in these last 5 minutes to try and get a lap time.
Maybe he's just taking a pre-race nap.
He knows the carnage that's going to happen in turn 1. So he's staying back. He's staying back.
He's going to orchestrate it.
Yeah. he was the missile. No, hopefully.
No, but it's got to be said though. P5 is a full second away from first place, so it's definitely going to be well, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a hotly contested fight for the win if these gaps don't start closing up soon.
I mean, on this lap as well, I saw in Sector 1, RuneLink was once again improving on his time. I still don't know if he's improving right now as he comes out of, I believe, Sector 2 and into Sector 3. I have no idea what sector he's in, but whether
he is in Sector 3 now.
Whether RuneLink can improve even more. Oh, McKay's getting extremely close. These top three normally end up being so close together. It is insane sometimes. Oh, McKay's literally on the margin between taking P1 and 2.
Yeah, but we'll see if RuneLink can do anything to widen that gap at all as he comes across the line. He is a lot slower, so I'm guessing he gave up on that lap to start pushing again on this one. But yeah, that's gotta hurt being just too... Ooh, as actually, RuneLink spun.
I've got to say, from my camera angle, it looks like the rain's actually got heavier now. As I can see a lot more as it was. It
basically looks like a giant shower curtain, yeah.
Yeah, quite right. And
but no, what I was going to say though is if you're only 200ths behind the car in front, that's almost the same as just going through a singular puddle and not being on the throttle for maybe 1/2 of a tenth or whatever, and that can make the difference. Like, that's how fine these margins are we're talking about.
yeah, in practice, I remember watching an onboard with Matt's VR, and at Ascari, it looked like a swimming pool, to be fully honest. And there was a massive puddle on the inside of the long right-hander coming out of Ascari, which was just, you know, I'm like, I don't know how drivers can sometimes drive that quick. As you can see,
I think they simply may have imported the swimming pool chicane from Monaco.
with this
and
high,
accidentally spilled it all over the track.
with this high speed of a circuit, yeah, you might have to. As I think RuneLink letting by one of the orange arrows.
Now, I do want to take note as well. The top 7 are now within 1 second of first place. Wild Package is currently P3, just 1/10 away from that provisional pole with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And Roman, who, according to the pre-race questioning I did of some of our grid members, would be the favorite to win this race. He's currently 8 full tenths down, so he may not be doing too well in these wet conditions. But we'll see if he can pick up that pace once the track starts to dry out during the race.
Yeah, very much these drivers right now, they need to find the grip. They need to find where people are finding. They need to get confident, but not overconfident when getting on the power. You got to find that perfect margin where the car can grip up, but you can also accelerate really quickly out the corner, and just finding that in between, finding not slipping, but also not going slow out the corner. It's an extremely hard margin to find.
Exactly, as now we are going just into the final minute now. Roman has brought it up to P3, so he has heard what we said, and he said, to hell with that. He's improved by 7/10 of a second to put himself in P3.
Yeah, just had a wild package, less than a half a tenth again. Though I think that's 200ths, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's going to be looking to hopefully, if not this lap, then next lap, he's going to be wanting to improve on the final lap. A lot of drivers now going to be going for their final laps. You can just see a train coming out of Ascari as well, just a bunch of cars wanting to go for their final laps.
Well, I'm going to try and see if I can... Yeah, this is one person. This is Svi, who is in that pack of cars currently coming out of Ascari. And we'll just see from the cockpit view how busy it exactly is.
Well, you can just see all that.
I think there should be about 2 or 3 cars ahead of him right now.
Yeah, quite right.
And another 4 or 5 behind.
Don't know who that is ahead due to all this mist and absolute wet weather. But going across the lines, V stays P12. He's going to have one last lap to do it. Some of those drivers which were letting Svi by. Actually, don't think they got in a lap, so that is unfortunate for them, but also thankful that they let Svi by, as we see Svi getting on the power, coming around this long right hand corner and braking very much just before the Fanatec line, going left and right, but he's had a little bit of a lock up. Can he keep it in a straight line? No, he's in the gravel. That is unfortunate for Svi.
Yeah, just had that big twitch of countersteer there, and that's completely ruined his lap, unless he'd done the same on his previous lap, but I highly doubt that. Regardless, though, he's still pushing on, so maybe he thinks he still has a chance.
Yeah,
he has put a bit more of a gap between him and the car in front now, so at least he won't have to suffer from dirty air.
Yeah, 2 seconds on, behind on the lap time, as we see him, I believe, let by. That looked like his teammate, potentially.
We'll see if Wild Package can go on to provisional pole. Well, that would actually be
pole.
He's gone to P3.
He takes away Roman's P3 and drops him down to P4. See, Ultimate Case.
We have left is Case, who is 200ths away from getting that pole.
Is he up on his time? Can he find the acceleration out of Parabolica? Coming to the line. Does he improve? Does he take provisional pole? Well, does he take pole away from RuneLink? Crossing the line now. And he does! I think he did.
How much? He did, yeah, by
400ths of a second. What a close qualifying between these two, as well as between War Package and Roman. What a qualifying indeed. So we've got Ultimate K's stealing pole away from RuneLink. Last moment, RuneLink with the P2 position. Wild Package taking the P3 away from Roman in P4. Tomahawks in P5. Matt's taking the P6. Daylau up in P7, Kunisek in P8, Shad in P9, Exevius in P10, Fennec in P11, Svi in P12, Jedlin P13, Cuckoo in P14, and Eisenshank in P15, Exus P16, Findict P17, and Ticklish Picklewickle in P18, followed by Michael at the back of the grid in P19. I'm a bit confused. I would have expected more drivers. I believe we're missing a couple, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't we have a maximum capacity of 24 per race?
Yeah, I only see 19, so we're missing 5 drivers for Monza.
Nismo, you can scroll. I can forget that.
I scrolled to the bottom, didn't I? Oh, I didn't. Wait, hold on. There are 24. We do have a full grid. Hey!
24 drivers today.
So it isn't Michael at the back of the grid. It's then Unholy Cake, Fat Scout, Ant Carlos, Eddie, and at the back of the grid, not Michael, but Binding. So hopefully those individuals will be able to make their way up. But in this case, not everything is won in the first corner, and whether we're going to see some carnage into T1, I do wonder. So it's
Hold on, I'll be just right back. 1 second.
Okay. As everyone is getting ready, they're gonna have cold tires to start with, as there is no warm-up lap. So all the drivers gonna be stuck on the grid. Ultimate K's is gonna be trying to want to break away from RuneLink as soon as he can, and whether Wild Package or Roman can get a better start than the 2 ahead, all to be seen. As the lights are coming on and we see that dangerous sinking symbol for the 2nd time in a row. And you can now hear the revs of the engines. It's 1 light, it's 2 lights, it's 3 lights. And it's a green light, and off they go. That's Ultimate K's not getting the barrel. And everyone is just, it looks like everyone is drifting off the line. And Wild Package getting the amazing exit. It looks like Wild Package is already into P1, going out the first corner. They're almost 3 wide going in to the first corner. Wild Package getting shoved a bit on the off, and I don't think if he's gonna have to concede. Definitely got pushed off, and I definitely see some cars maybe touching a bit. Hopefully nothing too serious, but you can just see that entire train just getting backed up, and just the backing up effect just happening quite a bit. Wild Package getting a remarkable start, I have to say, and I think I've lost P1. I somehow, for some reason, can't see who's in P1. There's a safety car out, I believe. And
why is there a safety car?
Well, that is also not. That's for us to decide later.
Oh, well, Phoenix lost the wing, and something's happened to Svi. Hold on, is he missing? He's missing a wheel.
Oh no, I'm getting a. Is it a front wheel? That's
yeah, it's his front right is missing, but I only see 2 cars that seem to be involved with that incident. I'm not sure why a safety car was called. Maybe Fastcow had something to do with it, but I'm confused because I remember him coming out of turn 1, he was in last place, and now we have both Fennec and Svi behind him, so I think they had a separate incident.
I mean, yeah, clearly, maybe some cars tangling. In a way, I'm kind of happy that Svi's front tire has been taken rather than his rear, because I know for a fact if his rear was taken. Oh no, Svi! That is.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that was due to a bit of hopelessness or if his engine was starting to overheat, because with these cars, it is not easy to make it back to the pits on 3 wheels, unfortunately. But we seem to have lost another person, because I think we started with 24 people, right? And we're down to 22, so maybe the 3rd driver that was involved in that collision quit before we could catch them.
Yeah, possibly not catching that 3rd person who was involved. But on Thursday, we'll definitely see who was, and probably at the end of this race as well.
Quite unfortunate to have an incident like that. It didn't seem to have happened in turn 1, which is, well, it's an improvement on last race, I guess, but definitely don't want people's races to be over on the first lap of 43.
Yeah, and yeah, what a way to start, to be honest. Quite. I mean, I thought there was going to be a collision going into turn 1. And,
we have Michael coming into the pits. I wonder... I think some drivers will like this safety car, because if they are on inters and they are struggling, this will potentially make sure that the weather is going to be progressed a little more quickly when it comes to race pace, so they will be able to survive a bit better on those tires if they are on them.
Yeah, quite rightly so. I mean, we know that the track's definitely going to be clearing up, and whether, I mean, the drivers who are on the wets definitely going to be praying that it starts raining a bit longer, but the drivers who are on inters are going to be praying that the safety car lasts longer.
Wait, we've lost another person. We're down to 21 now.
Who we lost? What?
I've been paying attention to the back marker, so I'm not quite sure who it was, but we still have Michael and Fennec, so it was someone that didn't pit that is out of this race.
Oh, hopefully that isn't a disconnect. I've just been told that
was Runelink leading this race?
Yes, I believe it was Runelink followed by Wild Package. Wild Package getting a remarkable start. And Ultimate K's, who did take a provisional pole, all the way down in P4. So getting not the best exit or start as we look to Fennec at the back of this grid. He's replacing... who's he replacing today? I believe Shadow... Is Shadow Drake? Yes, I believe Shadow Drake he is replacing. But
yeah, and Shadow Drake, I believe, involved in an incident last week, so we'll hope that Fennec will not emulate that performance this week, as he's restarting this race from the back with his new rear wing. I do believe we will be getting underway again as they reach the start-finish straight, so you can see the drivers just starting to heat up their tires, weaving around a bit more, and soon they're going to have to quit that, because otherwise they just might hit each other.
yeah, quite right, as we see them coming into Sector 3, and a lot of drivers, I mean, you could just see how much spray, but already, I mean, especially from qualifying, you can see how much drier, in a way, the track is. So... whether these drivers are going to be pushing to try and trying to essentially get to the part. I mean, I know the intermediate drivers are going to be trying to stay at that high point, and they're going to be getting a lot more speed later. It's going to be RuneLink coming round Parabolica O, which I'm pretty sure it's called Parabolica unless they changed the name.
Yeah, I think they changed the name to Curva Alboreto or something like that.
Parabolica sounds cool. I'm kidding. Yeah, RuneLink to lead the pack away. He's getting close to the line. When is he gonna go?
As soon as the spray disappears, it seems.
And I think if I'm... Yeah, and then it's green light racing as he gets on the throttle. Doesn't leave Wild Package that far back, to be fully honest. And we're already seeing a 2 wide moment between Roman and Ultimate K's behind as well. It looked like they were going 3 wide. Hopefully that won't cause any more collisions and we won't see another safety car. As we see all the drivers getting nicely through, except for Exus.
Exus has missed the corner.
He has to take to the escape route, and that is going to drop him quite far back. As now Delau actually getting a really good start. He started P7 or 8 and is now up in P5.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well so far today. Looks like RuneLink may have already opened up a bit of a gap to P2, so Wild Package will have to do his best to try and hold Roman and Keza back, and that's no easy feat. Yeah,
it's as we see Eddie trying to
P19
going all the way around the outside of was that Fennec? So
yeah, it was Fennec.
Whether Fennec can retaliate, he looks like Fennec was trying to go down the inside also, but someone's gone really wide.
And it wasn't Fennec, so I'll try and go back to that, but I have no clue who that was.
I believe that was
I think
Shad 55. Luckily doesn't leave him compromised to the people behind.
Oh, there was a yellow car really wide there.
Oh, they're gonna be very much exposed as I believe Eisenshank makes the overtake, but is Kunisek gonna try and make the move? Is he gonna try to dive it down the inside going into turn 1, but he decides better of it and stays behind? Whether we can see Kunisek
playing it careful on the brakes there after basically missing the previous corner. So yeah, turn 1 is not another corner where you want to be taking those risks.
Yeah, I've just been told, by the way, that Tumblehawks. Oh, never mind. That looks like Delau trying to potentially make a move on Ultimate Case. Ultimate Case looking like he doesn't potentially have the pace right now, as you can already see the cars ahead of him have about a second, getting close to 2-second gap. So we mentioned...
Oh, but he's missed his exit. There's Mats coming along the outside now, down the straight.
Can Delau protect that inside? Can he defend that position from Mats? Mats is just ahead. Can he go around the outside? It looks like he's done the move before the corner, and that's going to be Mats up into P5 position. Now he's going to be the one that's chasing Ultimate Case.
Yeah, Matt's historically one of the fastest guys in the league as long as he can keep it out of the wall, so I think he'll be very hungry to go get past both Keza and Roman. And it must be said, Wild Package holding his own. That's more than a second between him and Roman behind.
Yeah, in that P2 position. It looks like there's a fight though happening between Cuckoo, Benedict and Exevius behind. Oh, that's it's hard to see sometimes with this spray of the cars, but we're seeing all the cars fly down the main straight. Is anyone going to make a move? Ticklish might be wanting to make a move on Unholy Cake, but that ahead.
Yeah, I think he actually just got overtaken, so that would be him trying to get that position back, and he's taking it pretty safe into turn 1, so he's not got the best exit.
Yeah, Cuckoo as well, just ahead. I thought I saw them going too wide with Exevius. Exevius is definitely putting on the pressure on that Jaguar. So coming into the second chicane, are we going to see anyone getting a bad exit? Anyone potentially spinning? Oh, there's
a lot of cars in the gravel.
That's Findic going wide. That's Cuckoo looking for that inside line on Jedlin ahead. Do they have the run on Jedlin? It looks like they do, and that's into P10 But Koku, whether they can defend this position, you can see how close some of these cars are. Xavius in the background trying to make a move on Findic. They come into Ascari. Is everyone going to keep it clean? Is everyone going to keep that 2 wide position? It looks like they've all slotted into a single file going into Ascari. But that's Kuku into P10, able to make that move on Jedlin.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I saw some wheel banging there. Not sure if that was lag or actual contact, but Kuku making the most out of those mistakes. Just multiple people going wide and into the gravel, just shipping position after position. So that is Kuku into P10 and about 3 seconds behind the next car up in the field.
Watching these cars once again come down into turn 1. I am now actually finally enough starting to notice a small dry line form as well. So whether, it looks like Jedlin looking for a move. Just see how close this battle for P10, about 5 cars battling for this P10 position.
Yeah, I definitely hope that this pack stays together for the entire race, because then we won't be bored for a single second as they're all trying to take different lines into the chicane. No moves being done yet, but yeah, as you mentioned, a dry line forming in the middle of torrential rain. That is an interesting phenomenon.
And that looks
going wide again.
Jedlin making a mistake. They're going 3 wide into this corner. Come on, guys, keep it safe. Jedlin able to keep that move, but it looks like Ticklish has made the move up into P11, and he was at the back of this pack, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. Coming into
I think it's just a lot of people ahead of him making mistakes after mistakes, and that's another one.
Contact between Findic and Ticklish. Ticklish is not going to be happy with that as he gets dive bombed and pushed off the tray. I believe that is going to be very much a ticket in the making, but still battling behind between Unholy Cake and Xavius.
Yeah, that was honestly a bit much for a lunge into Ascari. You're never going to be able to go too wide at that speed in that corner. So if I were Ticklish, I would definitely try to ask for the steward's opinion on that one. But for now, this pack still holding it up together, but there's moves going on for P8. Oh, actually, no, that's just Shad who's missed his corner.
Yeah, is that going to leave? They're going to be having to take a slower exit out of P1. Is that going to leave them compromised to Kuku, who is in P10 behind, who's actually made quite a gap from that, from those people that they were originally fighting with, which now has, I believe, Jedlin at the front of that pack.
Oh, hold on. There's a fight going on for P3. I believe Roman has been overtaken by Kays. He has to have made a mistake because he's in the clutches of Mats now.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, I think,
there's been contact.
And that looks like maybe potentially a bit of, oh my god, Findic properly slotting it in between the likes of Shad and the wall. Oh my god, that was close right there. That would have been absolutely torrential if that ended badly. But yeah, maybe a bit of
I mean, I think one of the drivers had broken suspension because they were crabbing all over the track, and then Findic just managing to thread his car through that needle like no one's business. That was insane.
Yeah, just behind Shad and Unholy Cake battling quite a bit. Who can get the better exit? Coming down the main straight. Oh, they're almost too wide, but Shad
so far, but he's not got the slipstream.
Yeah, Shad's going to be in that slipstream. He pulls to the right. Unholy Cake not defending the inside line. I mean, the outside line, to be honest, is drier. Oh, there's contact behind. The 2 teammates, Shad and Carlos, get a bit of contact, and that is going to be massively unfortunate for both of them. Shad now defending from, I believe, is that Fat Scout?
I think it's Shad is defending from Carlos, I believe. Or wait, no, it's Carlos defending from Fennec. Sorry. So Fennec is really eager to get by these two, and you never know; those tires might not be in the best shape after getting tapped like that. But yeah, rule number 1: don't drive into your teammate. I don't know why he was braking that late on a wet line into turn 1, but yeah, that is a recipe for disaster. As Eisenschenk now into the pits. He seems to be the only one pitting after that incident on the straight.
Yeah, I also, I mean, we saw that Kays have made the move on Roman. Something I do want to know is because I think I have a hunch that K's is running intermediate tyres. Because if you think about how bad of a start he got, and how much less grip compared to most people off the line he got, and now all of a sudden he's been able to get some pace and be able to attack the likes of Roman, whether he's on those intermediate tyres and is now hoping that the weather is just going to get better and better, as we see Delau and Matt battling. Coming into the second chicane, Delau's going to have the inside line, Matt's stuck on the outside, and Matt's conceding that position to Delau.
He got Mats on the outside of the high speed turn 2, turn 3, whatever it is. That is, you have to have a lot of extra speed to be able to pull that off, and he did. So that is a very nice move from Delau, and Mats. I mean, the only way I can imagine him having lost that spot is if he's running a little bit of extra downforce to play it safe today. But yeah, seems to be. Oh, I think he's actually trying to get some temperature. Well, I think he's trying to cool down his tires, actually, because Matt's going away from the racing line into what seemed to be some sort of puddle. So I think, yeah, the track is drying up quite a bit. You see Matt's just refusing to take any sort of slipstream.
Yeah, potentially. I think Matt's might be running wets then, because the drier the track gets, the hotter the wets will get. So hopefully he can nurse those tires before the before he has to pit for potential softs, which I'm guessing he's going to go to.
But see, if Keza is on inters, then I think the top two have to be as well, because they're currently going at a faster pace than Keza, and they're just pulling away, and they have been since the start. So yeah, I'm not sure what kind of explanation there could be for that one, as there's still a fight going on here between Carlos and Jedlin for P14.
Yeah, Jedlin all up in that slipstream. Is he going to decide to break a bit later? No, he stays behind going into T1, but can Jedlin... Oh, there's contact, and it looks like Jedlin is forced onto the grass by Ant Carlos. Hopefully that none of that was damage inducing, but it looks like the pack behind has now massively gained on these two. And in the back you can see Wild Package's teammate, which is Michael.
Oh, Fennec's outbraked himself. Ooh. He's lost the position to Michael, P16.
Is that going to leave him exposed to Ticklish behind as well? I do want... they're extremely close behind. Looks like he stays ahead of Ticklish.
Also, Roman is trying to get back to K's. He's going around the outside of Parabolica, the final corner. Is he going to be able to pull it off?
Going into T1 there, side by side, coming down into this first corner where I believe the first safety car was...
Look at that straight line speed on K's car. He's just pulling away.
Wow, K's... Oh, and that's a...
Oh, who is that?
That looks to be a...
Eisenschenk, I think, or... No, that has to be Excess. It is, It is Excess. The two McLarens are dead last.
Unfortunate for them, but yeah, Ultimate K is clearly running a less downforce setup. But during this second sector, he's going to be all sorts of closed in by Roman, who's going to be looking to potentially make a move and try to gain all up behind Ultimate K's. You can just see how close he is as the dust from the water hits us in his face when someone goes ever so slightly offline.
I don't quite think that's dust, Nismo.
Not dust, spray. Roman actually surprisingly losing a bit of time during that sector, but he's gained it all back in a Scurry. I said it, didn't I? And he gets a bad exit coming out of Scurry, but he's going to be in that slipstream, hopefully. Well, McKay's with that absolute long, low downforce setup. Oh, Ticklish looking for a move.
Fennec, P16 again. And Fennec losing another spot to Fat Scout.
Oh, hopefully Fennec not having that big of an incident. Is he going to be looking for a move into a Scary? I would think not.
Especially not after having that kind of horrendous exit that cost you 2 positions. That's, I'm not sure if Fennec has any sort of damage, but he has been making some mistakes that have been costing him heavily.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Keza is starting to pull away from Roman once again. Wild Packages hanging on to Runelink, so if Runelink makes any kind of mistake, even one spin can put Package in the lead, as I believe Carlos is now in the pits.
Hopefully that isn't for damage, but whether he's pitting for inters and potentially going for a 2-stop today are... Oh, I thought he missed his pit stop there for a second. I do believe that those are potential wheels go on.
Jedlin taking the Sebastian Vettel line.
That is unfortunate. He's going to lose out to all those drivers behind.
Yeah, what's going on over here? There's suddenly a 4-car pack and one person going wide too.
Yeah, Fennec able to make it up into P16. Oh, he makes it all the way around. Michael. I believe that's Michael at least.
Yes, it is Michael.
Michael also getting compromised from Jedlin behind.
Hold on. Roman's gone past K's. P3.
Oh, but whether Ultimate K's can get in that slipstream, use that top speed that Minardi has coming all the way down the straight. I think it's unlikely, but you saw how quick Ultimate K's was going down the straight. But yeah, not to be, but he is all up behind. Maybe taking a bit too much curb there as that launches his car a bit.
Yeah, I saw him doing quite a bit of that in free practice as well, so he's going to have to work on that. And Fennec is working on an overtake on Fat Scout, going down the inside of the final corner, taking P14 from Fat Scout.
Fennec, as much as making that mistake earlier, he's able to just make those overtakes now and slowly climb his way up into those points-paying positions.
Xevious is doing his absolute best to tailgate Shad without running into the back of him and doing a very good job so far.
Yeah, he's all up behind in his gearbox. Whether we're going to see those two
there's another driver that misses turn 1. This time it's Michael.
Yeah, unfortunate for my dad, he's going to lose him a buttload of time. I do remember there being some rules about turn 1 about potentially, if you know you're going to miss it, you need to take the off-road as so not to cause a collision.
Also, just one more thing I want to highlight here as we see the two teammates of Fast Scout and Jedlin fighting it out for P15, is that ever since the safety car where we lost 3 drivers, we have not lost a single other driver, as that seems to be Fast Scout letting his teammate through.
Yeah, but is that
he's done it in such a weird way that he's actually lost a lot of straight line speed, and now he's under pressure from Michael going into Ascari.
They're too wide. Oh, and I would say literally leaving the bare minimum room for Michael. Michael's going to have to try and find another way past Fat Scout. Maybe another lap. As we see them.
Yeah, Michael not gonna be too happy with that one, I'm sure, as he thought he had a very, very good chance at an overtake there, but trying to pass around the outside of Ascari is never going to be easy, so switch back to the battle for P11 now between still Xevious and Shad, but it seems like Xevious has started to drop off a bit.
No.
Well, who has? That would be Daylight. He's right next to Kazden.
Oh, these two going to be battling it out, going into turn 1. They're too wide. Are they going to leave each other the space? Daylau backs out a bit, but he's all over the back of Ultimate K's coming out of Ascari, and whether he can get a good exit to potentially overtake Ultimate K's down this straight, or maybe getting it on the main straight, it's going to be all seen. You can see in the background as well, Matt trying to cool down his tyres again. So that looks to be a reoccurring problem. We hop on board with Daylau all in that slipstream. And you can just see Ultimate
He's not catching Case. Case is pulling away.
Yeah, Case pulling away, but Daylau's going to be looking for a move down into turn. Oh my god, that was I thought he was going
You've cursed it. He's definitely gone and that's cost him a position on Matt's. But yeah, he went nuclear on the brakes there. I'm surprised he managed to get that stopped, but just didn't get that rotation for the second part of the chicane done quite right. Yeah,
over-rotating it and then bringing it back, then over-correcting. Very unfortunate. Michael, though, still behind Fat Scout and somebody. Still trying to find a way, though. But he seems to be matching Fat Scout when it comes to time. He did improve on that lap, and whether that's due to slipstream. V10 going a bit deep. He's going to have to take a lot more curb and a lot more angle. That's going to leave him maybe a bit worse on the exit.
Yeah, he's so far probably just enough to get a little bit of slipstream, but it's not going to be helping him too much. I think he's going to be looking to gain a lot of time on the brakes. As you see, he actually improves by 3/10 in that first sector, so the track is drying up by a lot. There's practically no spray on several parts of the track now. I think we will see people pitting for slick soon.
Yeah, quite right. I think some drivers are now going to start entering the pit lane to try and...
Oh, as Kaiser comes in.
Kaiser.
And that was Shad on the side of the road. But he's got going again. Oh, actually, right ahead of him, a potential overtake. No, it was just a little sniff into Ascari.
Yeah, these two drivers extremely close as Ultimate K's drops further down. Michael getting quite a good exit on Fat Scout. Is Fat Scout going to defend? He's not. He's left the door open. And is Michael going to look for a move? That's... Oh, what the...
No! He's been absolutely flipped, lost both wings, and I think they involved the driver behind in that as well. So that was the heaviest crash we've at least caught on stream so far, and luckily for him, it happened right in front of the pits. It seemed like Fast Guy just turned in on him.
What in the AMS2 physics did I just say? That is extremely unfortunate for Michael, as his car's just destroyed. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised after literally getting sent up to space and then having to return.
Oh. He's gonna be salty about that one because Fast Scout got away scot-free, I think.
That could be, honestly, that could be to netcode of honest. Oh! Maybe not if Fat Scout might have some damage. We're seeing a lot more drivers now pit for potential slicks. And whether they're going to come out ahead of K's or not, because K's pitted one lap earlier. I mean, I'm still seeing spray on the main straight, and you can just see their car just sliding.
And I still see tread on these tires as well, so let's quickly check where K's is. K's is nowhere near Runelink at the moment, so there's no giant undercut as far as we know.
I do just also want to say, when it comes to seeing the tires on the cars, they will always look the same from the start, so very unfortunate. Hopefully AMS... Oh!
That's annoying.
That scared me. That looked like a...
That's Daylau.
Yeah, Daylau almost coming directly into Ultimate K's, crossing the pit lane, and... oh, but keeps it in front.
Considering how quickly he was in the right direction again, though, do you think he might have hit the reset button?
Maybe. I think he was just able to...
So then that's going to have to be looked at by the stewards, as now Xevious and Michael coming into the pits as well, so that may help Michael in his race-long battle with that whole group of cars.
Fennec behind Daylau, he still needs the pit, so right now Daylau happy that he came out ahead of Fennec. And a wild package as well.
I think Romance pit as well.
Yeah, a wild package in the pit right now. Is he going to be able to actually overcut Runelink as his car...
Seems unlikely, as Runelink is now coming into the final corner, and I believe Package is only just now pulling out of the pits. So we'll see where Runelink is now, exiting a Parabolica. Going down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, wild package just leaving the pit lane right now.
He's at the pit exit now, but he's been passed.
And Kunisek as well. I don't know if Kunisek has pitted or not.
Kunisek has not pitted.
But yeah, now stuck behind Kunisek. You can see just down the main straight though, the water has not cleared at all when it comes to that pit lane exit. And whether you can you have to be extremely careful. I mean, we saw Daylau earlier almost spinning out of the pit lane. I thought he was going to very much whack someone, but as we watch the bushes.
That was the game attempting to locate Kunishek in second place, as we have, I think, half the grid at least has pitted so far. We see Fennec, Summer, Fast Scout, and Shad all in the pits now, and Ticklish just coming out of it. So I think there's not going to be that many people left who are still on their original tires.
Yeah, exactly. Only a few who will probably be on...
Hold on. How did Mats get right behind Roman? And now I think Keza just overtook Delau as well.
Yeah. It looks. Maybe it takes I do wonder. Does it take like an entire lap to potentially warm up your tires and get them in the right temperature? Because I know definitely when it comes to Formula 1 and real life, it takes maybe sometimes a lap in cold conditions to properly get your tires in a window of where you can race with them. All I want to say right now is going through Parabolica, if you go wide, you are very much sliding all the way into the gravel pit. It still looks like it's so wet in that section. It's incredible, and I don't think we're going to be seeing any overtakes anytime soon going through there. Otherwise, I think there is going to end up with a collision.
Oh, Xevious having a very slow exit there. He may have spun out. I don't see any damage, but he has been overtaken by Fat Scout. And Keza has lost that position to Delau. They're side by side, I think.
Ooh.
And that is
no, that's Matt.
Ferrari missing the turn 1.
That's it looks like he's fighting now with Matt going in.
Yes, he is.
Delau behind as well, defending from Cuckoo. Looks like 2 battles, P7 and P8 and P6 and P5, all happening in the second phase. Roman GR ahead. Looks like
this little battle between Mats and Keza is actually starting to close in on Roman, who messes up his exit and gives Mats a huge run on him.
Yeah, Matt's now going to be looking for that move into Ascari, and he's going to be stuck on that outside line. Roman defending the inside. Are they going to keep it safe? It looks like Roman... Oh no, he touched the wetness. Also did Matt. An ultimate case into P4, getting 2 cars in one corner just due to just them making small mistakes and just touching the wet surface of the track. That's extremely unfortunate as well. Looks like Delau behind, trying to pressure Cuckoo into a mistake. I know for a fact that you don't want to be touching that wet... Oh, there's contact between Findict and Carlos. That is extremely unfortunate. Luckily, no cars behind as... Uh-oh.
That was definitely a reset. That was from Findict. He was probably off in the gravel somewhere. We didn't quite see where he'd been launched to. I think Carlos may be slowing down to let him back through, so doing the gentlemanly thing there. Yes, he's once again picking up the pace.
Got great sportsmanship to see these drivers letting by the quicker drivers, and I think does Ant Carlos have damage? He's boxing now, and going,
I think especially considering he had damage, that he still slowed down is definitely a very nice gesture, because he would have lost that position in the pits anyway, as we have Jedlin, Eddie as well coming into the pits now. But just because so much just happened, I just want to mention Keza is going to be grinning from ear to ear right now after what happened to Roman, who's actually lost more positions now. He's been overtaken by Delau and Cuckoo. He's down to P8.
I mean, just look how close Delau is to Mats now. Whether that collision between them gave them damage, Delau's definitely on the attack when it comes to against...
Well, I don't think they collided, to be fair. I think Roman just missed his corner because he was defending on a wet line with slick tires.
Oh, and that's Mats.
I think Mats has... Oh, he sent it too deep again.
And that's going to leave him compromised to Roman. It's going to be these two battling.
Roman once again. Yeah. But what I was saying there is I think Roman just defended on a wet line on slick tires, while I think Mats just kind of overshot the second part of the corner, and well, actually he may have been caught by the puddle. That may have been what caused Mats to slow down there. But yeah, K's just playing it safe, not going for any risky moves, and letting everyone else trip over each other.
I mean, yeah, sometimes if you let the two battle headed, they'll leave each other with such compromised exits sometimes that you can just slip through. I mean, that was definitely an extreme case of that. But, yeah, Ultimate K's very much reaping the reward. And Delau as well in P5 doing a really good job to keep that Toyota up in that top 5 position.
Yeah, and who else is doing an amazing job would be Wild Package and RuneLink. They have pulled away by roughly 20 seconds from this battle that we've been keeping our eyes on. I think before the pit stops, they were a lot closer. Yeah,
but with still, I think we're about to hit the halfway mark. Well, as we see, I think that's a a Jedlin taking the escape road.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Though he has. Oh, what's going on there?
Maybe finding a bit too much water.
Yeah, especially the escape road is going to be one of the wettest parts of the track, along with the pit lane. So I can imagine being very out of shape coming out of there. I hope he didn't get any damage from touching the wall.
Yeah, hopefully he is able to carry on that cut.
Again.
Oh, unfortunate fight. Maybe his repairs. Oh, he's definitely swapping tires though. I'll say that as we see the workmen change those tires.
Fendick now coming in as well. He was the other car involved in the incident, so maybe he's pitting for damage as well.
Definitely not seeing any tires coming on.
Yeah, that's either he underfueled the car or that's damage, and he's out fairly quickly again, so he'll be getting back underway once again as Unholy Cake. I don't think he's pitted yet. He's still P3 on whatever tires he put on at the start of this race.
Oh, that is...
Hold on. Oh, that was... Okay, so when we go on board, it seems like he has some sort of wets or inters, but when we use the trackside camera, he's got slicks.
Just
That's interesting.
Asked by Truddy Mousey where is Eisenshank. Check. Eisenshank in P20, so at least he's in the top 20, let's put it that way.
Yeah, that is very true, as I hope that was his delta that said he was about to improve by 2/10 as he comes across the line to set a... Let's see what that lap time is. He does improve by half a second and sets a 128.999.
Yeah, I do genuinely...
As the driver ahead of him has just missed turn 1. Must have been someone on a different lap, though.
Yeah, I do still wonder how Unholy Cake got that P3 position. That is amazing. Maybe, you know, not pitting, I said, but I don't remember them being that far up. I don't...
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way I can imagine getting there is by simply not having pit. So either he's an amazing tire whisperer, or he's put some sort of weird compound on at the start of the race.
Yeah. Yeah, Roman though looks to be in the clutches of Kunisek in P9. Whether a battle is going to happen between them, I do wonder, but you can definitely see Kunisek has some sort of confidence when on the back of Roman. So he's going to be all up in Roman's slipstream, gaining is massively gaining in the slipstream.
Yeah. I think Roman may have just put way too much downforce on his car, as there's a car ahead that's missed Parabolica.
That looks to be Cuckoo.
Lost his back end.
Yeah, Cuckoo getting a bad Parabolica. He's now going to be looking for a move on Cuckoo coming into T1, and he looks like he's already made the move before the corner, but Cuckoo's still trying to pressure him into a mistake just by looking down that inside, trying to put their nose down there to have a little
yeah, it's 2 positions lost in 1 mistake, and that just shows you how competitive this league is. You cannot afford to make a mistake because it will cost you. And Unholy Cake in the pits now, and is staying in the pits for a very long time, I must say.
Hopefully that's not too much damage, or maybe they've accidentally turned their engine damage repair on, which I know from having that on sometimes, it is very much heartbreaking when you know you're about 5 seconds longer stuck in the pits for no reason.
Yeah, exactly, as it looks like Eddie is starting to approach Fastcat, although no, on the timings he's a little closer than they seem to be in reality. Unholy Cake still sitting in that pit box and is down to P13 from P3. Make that P14 as he finally leaves his pit box.
Yeah, well, P15 and then 16 as Eddie and Fat Scout pass him.
Oh, that's somebody off. Is it Shad in the... Yes, it is Shad. It's missed Ascari.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Shad there. Hopefully he can keep his car going. So,
definitely seems to be the case, and the next car down the road is a full minute back, so unless Shad has the mother of all crashes, I think he should be safe in P18. But of course, he's going to have to do his best if he wants to catch back up to Exus, who's only 5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, Exus definitely going to be wanting to push then, but someone who's going to be wanting to push is Wild Package. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a 5-second gap last time I checked. It's now hit, well, it's actually going back up to 5 seconds, but whether Wild Package can...
Down to 4. Yeah, it just depends on the corner, but he appears to have been half a second faster than RuneLink on the previous lap. We'll see what it's like on this one. And yeah, their pace is evened out a bit. He's 1/10 slower on this occasion.
Wild Package, definitely, I haven't seen him in the podium positions this season, so whether they can do it today and get that P2 position. The Cuckoo go a bit wide, is on the back of Kunisek though. Could be wanting to gain. That's probably all of that dirty air going through Ascari. I know that's probably going to be feeling really bad. Oh, and that's Matt's off.
Ferrari. That is Matt's. Oh my goodness, no.
He's done
and
it.
He's going straight for the pits.
He's
decided against it.
He almost did a Charles Leclerc, clearly. Of course, as well being in a Ferrari.
It was interesting to see how late he decided to not go for the pits, because you saw he had to steer to avoid that bollard.
Yeah.
And he's now behind one of the lap McLarens.
So whether Matt's can...
Yeah, this seems to be his main issue so far this season, is simply keeping that car on the track. He's had the pace to get wins. He's had the pace to get podiums pretty much every race. But he's missed out on a lot of results, sometimes due to either the game, computer, or internet crashing. And other times it's just him crashing himself. So he's going to really have to try and either give that car a slightly safer setup, or just try and do his best to just keep it on the road, because he's down to P8 while he really should be in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, Matt's, I think, starting P5 or 4 on the grid. He's now doubled the positions down than where he started in P8. So hopefully, I mean, we still got about 20 or so, less than 20 laps to go. But whether he can still climb his way up and pass Cuckoo, Kunisek, or even Roman over the next so laps, I do wonder if it's going to be possible. Oh, and that's another car.
Oh, there's another driver missing Parabolica. Is that Delau? I don't think so. It's his teammate, if I'm not mistaken. That would be Unholy Cake down in P15 with a wrecked car. But he doesn't go into the pits, so I'm wondering if that was actually suspension damage, or if it was just his tires being on very wet asphalt.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw a lot of... It's
overtaken by Exus into turn 1 now.
I was going to say, I saw a lot of dust coming from his front left tire, and was confused. It looked like...
I don't quite think that's dust, Nismo.
This time, I on my stream at least, it was... Funny enough, dark brown dust coming out of the front left of his tyre, which confused me, I've got to say, so...
Oh, that must have been from the gravel trap then, but we've just lost another driver, and once again, do not know who it was.
Hopefully, well, luckily they've made it past the 50% mark. For those who don't know, if you don't make it past the 50% mark in a race, it doesn't actually count as you are competing in the race. You've got to at least make 3 races before a potential league suspension, which is never a good thing. Yeah, Cuckoo though still pressuring the back of Kunisek. Definitely not close, but definitely enough to just maybe make Kuni sweat a bit. I mean, if Kunisek makes any small mistake right now, Cuckoo's going to be all up behind them, and will...
Well, Cuckoo has caught him in by about 4/10 in the previous lap, so the pressure's definitely there. If Cuckoo can keep that up and kind of resist that dirty air, as once again setting a personal best first sector.
Yeah, they're going to be wanting to get as many personal bests as they want, because it looks like Kunisek is slowly getting more... getting faster and faster, as they've, I think, just genuinely left them for dust. Over a second behind now is Cuckoo, and that is remarkable speed that Kunisek's got in that second sector to try and get away.
Yeah, that must either be Kunisek setting a personal best themselves or just having a lot more straight line speed as they're going into the final corner once again. I do think Cuckoo might be a bit more aggressive on the brakes though, because they're quite a bit closer now.
Potentially, yeah, maybe Cuckoo having a bit more confidence going into those sharp corners compared to
Cuckoo actually improving by half a second as well, so it seems like that final sector is where all the improvements are to be found as, oh, Kunisek's missed turn 1.
Could that leave them compromised?
He's probably got to give up a bit more time than that.
Yeah, I would say so. It looks like he might have gained time or even made it a bit neutral. Hopefully not, because that would definitely leave them compromised. I think Cuckoo actually
I think they're within a second again, so he may have given up that time in the braking zone for the next corner, but typically you want to do it when you're rejoining the track, because that's when it will be the most obvious that you've lost the time. So
yeah, quite right there. So yeah, watching
Nismo, seeing as we're currently not having too much close on-track action, why don't you look up some fun facts about Monza?
And I've got the perfect book to do it. Funnily enough, not looking at the internet. I know, actually touching paper, it was weird too, must say.
Back to the 1800s.
Yeah. As I oh my god, so many pages, Jesus. I do, because I have a Formula 1 maps book that tells me everything about each track every time. I tried to bring it out last time, but that's when stuff got heated and I just had to sadly put it down. It'd be might be helpful if I actually look at the contents of what page it is. Please don't fight until then. Of course we always,
if they do, but yeah, it's interesting to see everyone pretty much, well, a lot of people managing to get their lap times down into the 124. They both missed the chicane. And somehow they managed to keep the gap the exact same, because I think they both missed the chicane equally, so that's just Cuckoo kind of copying Kunisek's mistakes there.
Yeah, looking at the interesting track of Monza right now with yeah, so well, I've got a lot of facts for you. I've got in 1961 Phil Hill, I have no idea who that is, but Unholy Cake is actually pitting right now, so we'll get back to him. 40 years ago, well, more than 40, in 1961, where he got a sad win for Ferrari. I don't know how you can have a sad, I mean that sums up Ferrari in a nutshell, to be honest. So yeah, where he
hold on, his mom may interrupt you right there, as actually Cuckoo is now in the slipstream of Kunisek, looking into turn 1, but not quite. Oh, actually, they were going for a move.
That's
really
a look.
The brakes.
Oh my.
Wow, that was ambitious.
Yeah, that was a balls to the walls right there.
Fortunately, no contact too.
Yeah, remarkable on those brakes. I mean, we said it earlier that they were good on the brakes. I didn't think they had that much confidence, let's put it that way. Oh no, missing!
Yeah, you can see the tracks evolve. Oh, yep. That's, I think 2 laps running, so they're gonna have to start watching out for that.
That's into the wall!
Oh. That's got to be damage, right?
I would expect at least some damage, but they're going to be defending from Matt. Oh no, they're not, and they're going to be onto the gravel, and that car's going to be bouncing up and down. That's going to be them losing P7, and it looks like Ticklish behind as well is going to be.
But, yeah, that makes me wonder: was that damage, or was that simply dirty tires that caused Cuckoo to completely fly out of that next corner?
Yeah, so whether I mean, there was contact between the wall and Cuckoo. Do they have enough damage to think that it's enough to possibly pit? I mean, there's about 10-12 laps left of this race, so about 3/4 of the race already done.
They're not pitting.
Yeah, you see them, yeah, speed by the pit lane. And It looks to be, I don't know if my thing's wrong, but that looks to be a, is that a back marker behind? Or is that...
Yeah, it's, that is a back marker behind, followed by Ticklish. So Ticklish is for position as they actually let Ticklish through. I'm just gonna check to see, that was Carlos letting them through.
As hopefully, yeah, look, and Carlos, yeah, letting them by, not getting intervened, because I thought they are
I think someone's punched our cameraman again. Hold
yes,
on.
there we go.
Man, why don't you tell us a bit more about that sad win for Phil Hill?
Yeah, 1961, Phil Hill having a sad move for Ferrari, where he basically was effectively I'm really bad at reading is what I've now learned. But so what happened is it looked like Von Trips and Jim Clark's collided as they approached Parapolico on lap 2, spearing off. Oh,
I remember this one. Yeah, that's the crash that killed Von Trips and the crowd, isn't it?
Yeah, killing the German and 13 spectators. That is, luckily, see, this is why sometimes esports could be better, because, you know, no one dies. But that, yeah, extremely sad. Oh my god, that's terrible. Very
Oh yeah, back in those days, the show must go on, and they just kept on racing. So, not quite as extreme as the Le Mans disaster, but probably one of the worst in F1 history.
Yeah, as well as that, yeah, 6 years later, with Jim Clark fights back from a lap down, where Jim Clark having... Oh, I need to read this first, don't I? Yeah, having qualified on pole, he led the race with his Lotus. Got a puncture on lap 13, was a pit stop down. I mean, you know how long those pit stops were back then.
Oh yeah.
And so basically, he somehow made it back into the league, only to be slowed down by a fuel pump problem, leaving him to be passed by John Sturts and Jacob Brabham. So not actually winning that, but actually having a problem at the end. That is very unfortunate for him. But if I have a look at, got some great drivers as well. Michael Schumacher has 5 wins on this track. Lewis Hamilton tying him with 5 wins. I have no... Oh, Jean-Manuel Fangio has 3. I've just looked up at Ticklish, getting extremely close to Cuckoo. And
yeah, he's taking his time approaching, but I think he's starting to get ready for an overtake. I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something about Monza. Ticklish definitely getting close enough to smell that car at this point, and Cuckoo taking some odd lines as well.
Yeah, trying to get on that power. I mean, you can see the curbs. There's still an ever so slight wetness left on the track, and especially in the more shaded section where the sun isn't prominent, it's a lot more obvious. And
yeah, I do think a lot of drivers are going to be glad that it's slightly sunny though, because I've seen a lot of races where the weather ends up being cloudy after the rain, and then you just don't quite get the drying effect that you want.
Yeah, exactly, doesn't properly create that. I was thinking, is he going to gain in that slipstream, but it doesn't look like he has the actual straight line speed compared to Cuckoo. I mean, you can just see. Wait, no, Ticklish is ever so slightly gaining, but not by much. So maybe Ticklish having a more downforce setup, maybe more prepared for that
it's all
rain.
going to depend on this exit because the car head has gone deep.
Yeah,
Cuckoo though, still, despite getting a bit of an awkward angle there, seemingly having quite good straight line speed.
Up ahead as well, Mats and Kunisek having a small battle. They're extremely close to each other.
Yes, they are, and they're actually starting to approach a back marker. That's got to be either Fast Scout or Jedlin. Wait, is Fast Scout out of the race? Yeah, I think he is.
Oh no! Another
Fast
one.
Scout is no longer in this competition, unfortunately. We'll have to see him finish the next race as his teammate prepares to let these two battling cars for the top 6 positions through. He's not letting both through at the same time, though. Or easy, yeah, he goes on the outer line.
If I was in Matt's position, I would be very much like, oh no, please just move to the right hand side so you can let me by. But still doing a good job just going wide through that corner.
Yeah, see, in that case, the best thing is just to hold your line or move out of the way early, and he decided to hold his line, because if you dart out of the way at the last possible second, the lapping car may well end up hitting you because they're trying to avoid your previous position.
Yeah, exactly. So, whether Matt can make a move on Kunisek, it's all to be seen within these last 7 laps. There we go.
I do remember what I was going to say, though, and as we quickly check up on these two, nothing quite doing at us. Oh, that's ticklish, missing his braking zone.
Yeah, having to go over that wet off curve, and Matt's as well. It seems that these packs, as soon as we watched them and switched to the other one, that they've just massively lost time to each other.
Yeah, but I think as long as they don't get into a negative spiral of mistakes, I think they've definitely got the potential to close back up to the cars ahead, as Matt's is definitely still in the slipstream there. I was gonna say from that, what was it, Jackie Stewart, who had an amazing performance here. Imagine losing to a guy who's a full lap down and has a broken car.
Yeah.
That's gotta be painful.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be extremely well, that would be a major skill issue, I'll put it that way. Having a look at the actual map though, I wish these are the moments where I wish I had a camera sometimes, because I could do story time with Nismo, where I bring out the book. Hello, welcome to today we're looking at Monza.
Is this Nismo VTuber debut that I'm hearing coming?
Oh god. No, but yeah, looking at the track, I remember if you have a look at this part, see, I always thought this was a walking bridge that we just passed on. I always thought, until I had got this book, realised, hang on a second, that's a massive banked corner. What the hell? Yeah. Sadly, I don't believe it's used anymore. Just like Hockenheim's one. But yeah, honestly, I mean,
Hockenheim's old circuit's been completely torn down, and the old Monza still exists technically. It's just I think they occasionally drive cars over it for promotional shots and stuff, but I'm not sure if it's still sturdy enough to host an actual race, regardless of how safe they think it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, back in those days as well, the cars definitely wouldn't be as well, I don't know, definitely not as quick, let's put it that way, and therefore maybe a bit less vibrations.
Well, the thing is, you can't really compare it, because back then they had way softer suspension, and the cars would travel way more up and down, partially because of the fact that the curbs back then were way bigger. And if you go on there with a modern car, it's just going to bottom out and crash instantly, so they definitely have to modify the cars in some way to be able to take that. And I mean, they were still F1 cars back then, so they'd be going very, very fast. I think one of the big differences is that the cars back then would probably race a bit further away from each other when they were on that part of the track. I think these cars would be a little too close. Despite the dirty air, I think the banking would be enough to keep them from losing each other.
I mean, yeah, as well as that.
As we've seen as well in Zandvoort, where the final banked corner does in fact keep the drivers a bit closer to each other.
Something though you don't want happening on a bank corner is maybe a car going straight up off it. I mean, I think I remember Jeremy Clarkson and Hammond and all that going up as being. That's Findick.
Going up for P11.
Are they going to be going too wide into this corner? But I think Xavier's maybe allowing Findick to just stay ahead, not wanting to lose too much time. It also looks to be
we've actually lost another driver. Don't know who though.
as they let I believe Daylau behind by, so Daylau in P4 position. He's doing really good this race.
Xevious has lost 2 seconds after being overtaken, and he's just that's just 1 sector ago, so I wonder if he's got some sort of damage or if he's just trying to play it really, really safe here.
I mean, yeah, 6 laps left. He's in points paying positions. Come on, we still want to see him push a bit. Is pushing his...
Wait. Mats is going for a move on Roman
Oh,
on the inside of Scar, and they touch!
We see more flying cars! Oh, wait, and
What?
Roman's landed. And... Jeez. And Kunisek up into P5.
What did I wake up to? My goodness.
Oh, yeah. We were just having story time with Nismo, and now we're seeing 2 people battle at each other in ways I don't think I want to be seeing.
Yeah, I think after story time with Nismo, it's going to be funerals with Nismo, as Roman once again going side by side with someone else, but it's a lapped car this time.
Oh, that... Hopefully, Roman can get back into the groove, and hopefully he doesn't have damage. I mean, I definitely expect... I mean, he's driving that car. It doesn't look like it's damaged, but with him going up in the air, I would be surprised if there wasn't...
Mats has missed turn... Well, I thought he missed turn 1. He just went very deep, and Kunisek ahead completely lost the rear end as well. But I wonder how Kunisek got past Roman, because we didn't quite see him in that that crazy tussle on Ascari.
Yeah, I mean, Roman, was battling with the likes of... Ooh.
Hold on, Ticklish just having a look down the inside of the second chicane.
Oh, they can leave each other space. Barely. Oh my god, that was on the limit for both drivers. I mean, going...
Oh, and we've missed Matt's overtake Kunisek. That must have been in a bit of an unorthodox corner.
Yeah, probably into the Lesmos or out the chicane. But Kunisek can potentially still, if he stays with Roman coming out of Ascari, can get all that slipstream and stay behind. But it looks... Oh my god, Mats is just absolutely belted down and is now on the... Wait, is he on the back of Daylau, or is Daylau up ahead?
Daylau is quite far ahead. He's about 20 seconds up the road from those guys, so I think that's unholy cake and just getting lapped and providing Matt with some nice slipstream, as Ticklish Picklewickle still looking very, very close to Cuckoo. Roman down to P9. He's been passed by his teammate.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Roman. He's going to be wanting to try and get back, but he's only got 2 laps to do it. With that big of a crash this late in the game, I mean, it could be race over for him. He might just be lucky to potentially finish, which is unfortunate for that, I believe, BMW driver.
Speaking of this late in the game, there's only about 2 or 3 laps left. We're lap 41 of 43. I believe RuneLink has lapped everyone outside of the top 10, so that's quite the achievement. As wow, Ticklish having a lot of fun with his steering wheel there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he had... Oh, that's someone off. Looked to be a back marker of potentially Jedlin.
That is indeed Jedlin in P13.
Hopefully he can keep it back. Keep it on the black stuff for the last 2 laps. But can Ticklish gain that confidence to overtake?
Oh, but they're reaching some lapped cars. I think that's got to be Unholy Cake blocking the way, and right ahead of them would be Jedlin, I think. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It is Jedlin.
Cuckoo not going to be happy with that. Oh!
Touch!
Oh, there's 2 pieces of contact. We see, is that 3 cars off?
I believe so. Kunisek is in the barrier. I see a wheel just laying there. Where's Roman? He's not involved in this one. But that was with Jedlin, right? Where's Jedlin? Jedlin is going down the main straight now.
Yeah, even with 3 cars involved there, though, you cannot have a safety car within the last 5 laps, 3 or 4 laps. That's very unfortunate for those drivers who potentially that could be, them dropped out of the points if it's terminal.
Oh, he's still in the gravel. Ticklish can't get out. Look, he's trying to steer left and it's not working.
Oh, at that point, I would say, Ticklish, you can reset.
Or just reverse, if that'll help. Yeah, that's what he's trying now. That is tremendously bad for his race.
Reset,
he
Ticklish.
Has a fairly large gap to P11, but that gap is dwindling quickly. Findict is now in the final corner, and he passes Ticklish.
Ticklish, you can reset. I know you're not allowed 2, but you can reset if you are properly stuck in the gravel. And come on, you
He's
are stuck in
still
the
there.
gravel. This is why you should always watch my stream in the background. I'm
Yeah, he's in the
kidding.
race. Quit.
No.
Maybe he didn't have the reset button mapped, or he blew his engine trying to get out. Who knows? But he is out of this race. And who else was in the wall with him? That was Kunishek, right? Kunishek is driving a very, very damaged car, and I don't think he's going to pit with just one lap remaining at this point. Runelink is on the final lap. I think we lost 2 drivers just now. I don't know who else that was. But Runelink now lapping the damaged car of Kunishek.
Yeah, Kunisek going to be trying to go all the way. But it's going to be Runelink coming round the final car. Am I seeing a bit of rain, by the way? Is that just me?
I saw some droplets too, but that might be a glitch.
Yeah, Runelink coming across the line to secure that P1 position and win another race for I forgot what the name of the blue car is, but for not only himself but for his team. Wild Package getting that P2 position. What a good race for him. And Ultimate K's a couple seconds behind, coming around the final corner to secure that podium position and get that P3. Daylau as well with a remarkable race, taking that 4th position. Matt with a quite controversial race, I'll say, taking P5 as he finally comes around Parabolica.
Yeah, he has not binned it, so that will be provisional P5 for Mats. Let's go take a look at Cuckoo. Still a good 11 seconds ahead of Fennec behind. Fennec recovering to P7, so that's a good job after basically restarting the race from last place. I just want to say another thing about that final incident we saw, though. I felt like it was Ticklish trying to overtake a car that was trying to overtake a back marker. And 2 overtakes into Parabolica does not work, as we see 2 teammates having some nice quality time together.
Yeah, the 2 Jordans of Kunisek and Exevius just chilling on the pit exit. But anyway, it is going to be Runelink taking the win, followed by Wild Package in P2, Ultimate K's P3, Daylau P4, Mats VR46 in P5, Cuckoo in P6, Fennec P7, Roman P8, Kunisek P9, Vindic P10, Exevius P11, Jedlin P12, Exus P13, Eisenshank P14, and Carlos P15, Unholy Cake P6, Michael P17, Ticklish and Shad sadly retiring, and some other drivers who sadly retired and disconnected. What a controversial race, and I'm going to be expecting a lot of tickets. I mean, I know we had a lot of tickets last time, but those 3 of them were safety cars, and I have a feeling that only one of them is going to be a safety car, and a lot of them are going to be individual tickets, or maybe some people pushing each other off, or maybe pushing the limits, maybe even that some of those flying explorations that we saw between the 2 drivers of I think Roman was normally, or Matt's, one of them was in including that. But yeah, what a race indeed, and yeah, so much going on. And I do wonder, is that back?
Also, I just want to highlight as well, Ticklish Picklewickle having retired from that race. He did have one of the faster laps on the grid, so he, despite not finishing in the end, he should still be getting... Well, do we still have points for, what is it, P18, or...?
I feel like we should. But either way, it looks to be that, Wild Package... No, hold on. It looks
no, Matt has the fastest lap, so I've checked that, but it's definitely unfortunate for Ticklish to once again have really good pace and just not really profit from it in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Very unfortunate for Ticklish. If only he had the reset button binded. He was stuck in the gravel. I mean, of course you're not allowed to reset, but if you're properly stuck in the gravel, you are allowed to reset, and you can reset. And that was definitely one of those cases. As long as you try to get out and you spend a good, I would say, 10 seconds trying to get out, I would say
Yeah,
you
maybe he
would.
just didn't have the button mapped.
Yeah, anyways, I've
Because I think he would definitely rather take a penalty over a DNF.
oh yeah, 100%. I feel like anyone would any day. Of course, taking a penalty probably one of the a really bad thing to probably secure, but I think DNFing even worse because then that means you don't get any points, especially that late in the game. That's very unfortunate for Ticklish Pickle Wickle.
Well, he has completed around about 90% race distance, so if there's any points for that position, which I should really check at some point, then hopefully he should get at least something for his efforts. But yeah, RuneLink winning this race, always within touching distance of Wild Package, and that gap never got above 10 seconds. 8-second gap is about enough for one spin. And he just didn't make any mistakes. So that's hats off to RuneLink there, and Keza having fought for that P3, Dale getting an exceptional P4 as well. He's really starting to sniff that podium, finishing only 4 seconds behind Keza according to the timings. So that's a tremendous effort from him.
Yeah, quite rightly said. Dale definitely.
All right, well, we got. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Dale definitely having a great performance, and I think we should why not have a talk with him since he is finally enough in the ready for interview room. So bring him in.
Dale, welcome and congrats on getting to sniff that podium. You were about 4 seconds away.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's I don't even care about podium. Fuck the podium. Fuck you, podium, guys. I got P4, baby. My best finish in this league yet. Go.
Congratulations. Can you tell us a bit about how you got there? What happened during your race?
Yeah, I dive bombed everyone, killed Keza a few times, and yeah, I totally legitimately got that P4 without any incidents. Please don't report me. I will pay you.
A little bit of bribery going on, clearly.
No, totally not. I mean, I was so lucky at the first corner because like I didn't get taken out, and I was hit to the back, but I didn't get damaged, so I gained positions, and there was a safety car. Very good conditions for me. And yeah, because I started on inters, just rain went away during the safety car, and it was very good.
Yeah.
It definitely seemed like no one really went from full wets to inters. I think everyone pretty much went straight to slicks. Did it feel difficult to drive those inters at the very start of the race?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty difficult at the start, but like later on it was pretty good. And I'm very happy that my fastest lap is like only a 10th away from RuneLink's lap, even though like Matt set like freaking record-breaking times.
Your fastest lap was actually only 200ths away from RuneLink's fastest lap.
Oh yeah, 200ths. Yeah, but
yeah, that is extremely close. Do you feel like you could have potentially fought for P1, P2 if you'd started around there after qualifying?
I mean, probably not, because I was really excited and like my heart was just racing. I don't care that it's only P4 for some people, but like for me it's like very big deal, and I made like little mistakes. I'm just lucky that I think Mass had like technical difficulties because he just like at some corners he just would not race, like he would just go straight out of the track and then would come back on. And I think Roman also fucked up too at the end, at after mid race. So
yeah, we definitely saw Mats fly off the track a couple times, and Roman getting into a few collisions, but still being in a good spot before he really dropped off at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just lucky that these like fast drivers that probably could have just caught up to me, just like got involved in like crashes. Because myself, I'm like more of endurance racer than like just like a sprint racer, so it's like easy for me just to keep like consistent lap times and not just crash most of the time.
Yeah, and I think the rain is definitely going to have helped you there as well, because a lot of these drivers are typically constantly on the edge of grip, and when that grip is wet, accidents do happen.
I mean, I noticed that like this is the only race I practiced like for 5 hours maybe more. And like I immediately started doing well, so I mean I have a potential to fight for like top 5s every race, but I just need to put the time on. And I guess I just really like the track, that's why I practiced it so much.
Oh, yeah, and it's definitely been a rewarding experience. Who did you enjoy fighting the most this race?
I mean, there was like a 4-way battle for P4 at one moment, which was very exciting, until I just dive bombed like 4 cars, and like it just spread out because of me, I think. So might have been my fault. Like I was like surprised with my teammate Steve. He was P3 at one moment, but I thought like how? I guess he just didn't pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely saw a couple of people wait a significant while for their pit stop, maybe hoping for a safety car. But yeah, in the end, of course, you do lose a bit of time on that kind of gamble, so...
Yeah, to be honest, I almost crashed after putting on slicks because like there was like a wet part, the pit lane part is like...
Oh, we caught that. Yeah, we saw that.
I like went on like on the middle of tracks. It's just like I was lucky that there was no one there, so I just like fixed myself up, and I surprised I didn't get a warning for crossing the pit lane line.
Yeah, I mean, we did see someone almost fly into you at maximum speed when that happened. But we also noticed that you were pointed in the right direction a little faster than expected. Did you do you remember if you hit the reset button, or did you just kind of use a flick spin to get that car in that direction?
No, I just like released the gas and just tried to steer it, and like I just accelerated like a little bit. I didn't press any gas just to like get in the right direction. So I just I just tried to straighten out and be more careful because I didn't realize it was bad slippery, because mostly I practice the wet part of the race, not the dry one, so...
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Once the dry line starts to form, as soon as you go off track onto the curbs or even in the pit lane, there's not going to be that many cars that have driven there, so the wet will last a lot longer in those spots.
Yeah, I mean, I just followed Runelink in the pits, like I wouldn't probably have known when to pit. I just saw the Runelink pit, I immediately pit after him. That's like easiest strategy in my opinion. I don't know why more people didn't do it. Just follow the leader. I think that's the best strategy.
Yeah.
All right, Nisma, do you have any more questions for Dale after he's gotten his best result of the league so far?
I just yeah, congratulations on getting that P4 position, and yeah, definitely doing the Toyota team good and getting yeah, well, bringing it up the ranks and passing probably a lot of other teams now, the championship standings.
Yeah, hashtag bring Toyota back to F1.
Yeah, great watching you race.
If you could raise enough funds, I'm sure they'll be very willing to listen. So I wish you good luck on that journey, and hopefully see you get another good result next race.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Dale out.
Okay, so I think we should go now from happiness to you know what, actually I was gonna say, yeah, you know what, let's go from, because I've seen Ticklish enter, let's go from happiness to heartbreak and bring in Ticklish.
Welcome, Ticklish. We saw you had some pretty good pace out there, but not the best of luck. Can you tell us what happened there at the end of that race?
Yeah. Well, coming up to Parabolica, I think it was something like 2 laps to go. I had a really good run out of the Scary chicane, and I went to the inside of Cuckoo, but then Cuckoo also went to the inside of Kunisek in front, and that basically caught me out a lot. So I think there was room for me on the right hand side, but I was just startled so much by the move to the inside from him that I took like probably too much evasive maneuver to the right, and then yeah, I basically just tried to avoid an incident as much as I could and just went to the inside little patch of grass there was on the apex, and I do think I came together with Kunisek, which I'm very sorry for him, of course. But yeah, that was very unlucky, and I actually ended up. I think Koenigsegg managed to escape the gravel trap, but somehow I was stuck in the gravel trap. I couldn't get out. Whatever. I don't know if maybe it was because there was still water in the gravel trap, so it's very hard to get out of. So yeah, I just tried and tried and tried, and basically I ended up revving the engine too much, and then it ended up blowing, and then I had to retire.
Oh no. Well, Ticklish, do you have a reset button mapped?
I do not.
No.
Well then we do highly recommend putting that on the car for the next one, because even though it is against the rules to reset the car just to conveniently get out of spots like that, if you're really stuck, it is definitely an acceptable alternative to blowing your engine. So hopefully you'll be able to get that deserved top 10 spot next time. I was actually under the impression that it was a lapped car being lapped by someone else ahead of you, but that was a three-way move for position actually then.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to come out of it in the front, I think I would be P6. I think Koenigsegg was P6 at that point. So yeah, it's a hard blow to take, but to be honest, I have kind of mixed emotions about this race, because I think this is like the first proper like good race I had this season. But then of course I had that very bad ending, which cost me a lot of points. But I don't think I was fighting with anything too important in terms of championship position. So I guess in that respect I'm quite happy with the race, until that part, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if you've enjoyed 98% of a race, it's never good to let that tiny 2%, even if it is at the very end, ruin the entire event for you. So I'm glad you enjoyed most of that. You are also one of the few drivers to set a 1:23, so that's definitely pretty much top 5 pace. If you'd potentially started in a slightly better position, I think you could have very well have fought with the likes of P3, 4, and 5. So you've got that to look forward to in the coming races. Nismo, do you have more questions for Ticklish Pickle Wickle and his new profile picture?
Profile pic. I need to
Hey,
close.
I can't quite see it because it's
Oh.
too small, but he's changed it to something else.
It looks like. Well, the people on the stream can't see this. Is that like a thing made out of Play-Doh or something?
It's definitely some sort of cake.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like it's a cake. Yeah, it's we have a thing in Denmark. There are these two, like, it's a pair of puppets, which is like it's a frog and a parrot, and there's a very famous cake which is made based on the frog, and then me and a friend were wondering if there was a cake also for the parrot, and we found it. So this is my
Yeah, I was thinking it was kind of bird-shaped.
yeah. It's supposed to look like a parrot. I think whoever baked that cake put in his best effort.
Man, making me hungry now.
Oh.
Man, Nismo, my question to you does still stand. Do you have any more questions for Ticklish Pickle Wickle?
Oh, no, other than, yeah, great start. Awesome to see you battling, but sad to see that your battling came to an end when you got stuck in the gravel pit.
It was a tough one to take, but yeah, and I also think, I mean, you can always look back, but yeah, I was also very careful at the start. But I think most people were careful at the start. We almost went through the first chicane without any incidents up until the exit there. So, but I mean, overall after that, I think it was pretty clean. And yeah, just I think quite a better race that I kind of anticipated. So yeah, I'm happy to at least have like one race that's just proper, like because I feel like the rest of the season I've either not had the pace or I've just made too many mistakes in the races. So I feel like it was nice to have one good race, even though of course the result doesn't really reflect it, but that doesn't really matter as long as you know I had a good race. So my experience of the race was very good up until that point.
And that is what we love to hear. Now, I wish you the best of luck on your next one, especially when you guys end up in Suzuka. Hope you get a very nice and clean one there. And yeah, hope to see you there. When the best of luck.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Cheers, Ticklish.
Hey,
All right, who are we gonna bring in next?
well, I've picked the first two, so I feel like it's only appropriate that you bring in the next one. So, who do you think we should bring in?
I think we should bring in Wild Package because he's got that wild P2 result.
Okay.
Wild Package, welcome and congrats on being the only driver able to keep up with RuneLink.
Hello. Hi, thank you for having me here. Yeah, it was a good exchange of fastest laps, and I was able to keep pace. So I was also surprised a bit myself. I didn't expect it.
Yeah, and overall, it did seem like a bit of a lonely one for you. I mean, you didn't quite drop off from RuneLink completely. You stayed within 10 seconds, but you dropped the rest of the field by almost half a minute. So did you really get any action this race?
No, not really, except for trying to balance between having traction control and no traction control.
Oh, so you were actually changing the setting during the race.
Oh yeah, I was changing that like all the time depending on the wetness and the turn. Because like when you go to third, fourth gear, then you can turn off traction. You can get a bit of extra speed.
Ooh. Yeah, this is advanced strategies here. I believe a lot of people will not have been trying to be quite that meticulous with their settings. Do you think RuneLink's been doing the same?
I don't know. I think could be, but you can also just keep it as traction control 1, and I just go with it. Probably, I'm not sure. This is what I started playing around with when we had the practice, and I was like, it feels more stable somehow, because then the
Yeah, you definitely got more control of the car that way. How much practice did you put in for this event?
So yesterday I drove that full practice session that we had at midnight, I think, and then today I had one full race. But basically I was driving half races just to see what's the transition between intermediates to slicks, so I get that right, and then I was kind of confident for the rest of the race because it's a fairly easy track. I mean, you just have to nail the braking points. There's not too much steering going on, I guess. So
Yeah, although all the steering that is going on matters quite a bit, considering that one bad exit will give you a very slow time on the entire straight, and that's one of the reasons why the gaps are so big this race.
yeah. But it's really
considering that you
throttle control. Yeah. Throttle control, I think, was the key for this race, especially because of the wet and then the transition, and like you really need to have a good exit.
Yeah.
Were there any curbs or puddles you specifically tried to avoid?
Yeah, definitely. I try to never touch a curb, and I had a moment. I think I was like 6 seconds behind, and then I had a moment, and I lost a second. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it easy and wait for him to make a mistake, which never happened. But you know, that's the least I could have done.
Yeah, going back to throttle control, you got a remarkable start, I must say, making it from the second row in P3. At one moment, you were actually P1 going into the first corner, but sadly got shoved a bit wide. How did you get such an amazing start compared to the guys in front of you?
Yeah, I think actually in the quali I was faster than RuneLink, and I was like scared to be first, because then I knew that I would go and mess up. Like at the race start, I would do something weird and I would like overshoot or something. So I was like happy to be P3, but then what I tried is I just put the traction control on 5 and just kind of fluttered the throttle somewhat like in the lower 20%, and then I would reduce the throttle, the traction control as I gain more speed, and somehow I managed to nail that start. And then I was like P1, I was like, shit, now I'm gonna mess something up and I'm gonna mess up everyone's race. But then I also broke a bit early, and I was like, fine, I know I'm not the fastest probably, so yeah, P2 is great, which ended up staying.
And considering that you were P2 and this close to P1 with that amount of preparation, do you think you maximized everything you had, or do you think there would have been a situation where you could have ended up winning this race?
Yeah, if I practiced braking zones for T1, like race start, if I would have known to break it. Like I don't know what was like 100 meters or 75 was the braking, when you start braking. So if I managed that, and if I improved my dry race pace, I think there could have been a chance for fighting for P1. Because otherwise, I knew that on wet I was pretty good. Because we were always exchanging fastest laps, and then on the dry, it kind of became more easy because we kind of had a gap. So I also saw that he wasn't pushing too much. I also wasn't pushing too much. But then when I tried to push, I realized like I just gained half a second because I wasn't practicing enough. So I was like, yeah, there definitely would have been a chance to be P1.
Yeah, I believe you do have the, and Nismo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you do have the second fastest lap of the race, and you did pip Runelink by a little under a tenth, only missing out to Mats and P5. But yeah, very good effort there, and I think that does prove that if you put in the preparation, you may well have a chance to win one of the remaining races.
Yeah, that's a good one. Which one is left?
Suzuka.
Oh,
Or
my favorite
Kansai,
one. Yeah.
as it's called in this game due to legal reasons.
Yeah, my favorite one. Yeah, I'll really try to put in some extra time for that one. It's like one of my favorite tracks.
Just remember though that it is the classic version, which has a different last chicane, which I did time trial event on. I've got to say it was horrible because how bumpy it was and how much nicer compared how the normal chicane is.
Oh, I'm curious because Silverstone, I haven't practiced the old version that when we played, so I was completely new when I came to that one, and I was like, I had no idea of the track, and it didn't feel familiar at all. But in the end, I managed to get what happened in that race? Oh, AI took control, yeah. But I was also P4, so that was also a good one. But yeah, I will give some extra time on it. It's really like nailing the quali and then seeing if you can survive.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're definitely looking forward to see that performance from you. Some of the drivers who are typically at the sharp end of the field made more mistakes than you on this occasion. So if you hone your skills, I'm sure you'll be able to have a good chance at beating them again next time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for a fight. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are too, and I hope to see you then. So, Nismo, if you have any more questions.
No, just congratulations on the P2 and hopefully see you next week for the finale.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for the interview as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been good fun. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Okay, now it seems like we've taken so long that the rest of the drivers and ready for interview have all passed away.
They died. All right. I'm gonna go check out the main panel and catch you later, guys.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yeah, so what a race we've had tonight, I've got to say, and yeah, it's just absolutely been packed full of drivers have either going to space somehow. We had 2 space things and a lot of close calls when it came to drivers under braking or going through corners like Parabolica. Altogether, a really good one to commentate. I'm happy that you're here still tagging along, Martin, all the way from America. But oh, as I say that, he disconnect. Oh, he's back. I commentator cursed you, didn't I?
I may or may have not been trolling you there, but wow, if you go to the Discord, there's actually a screenshot of that space program that Michael was participating in. It's a bit of a bummer that he's gone because he was one of the drivers in Ready for Interview.
Yeah.
I love that you just see Fast Guy in the background taking the corner normally.
Oh, geez, I've just seen the yeah, that is very, very interesting. Let's see if I can grab that up. But yeah, if you do still want, if people are interested in the league, though, do feel free to join. There was a Discord link. Sadly, I haven't made a bot to make one, but yeah, next week the finale at Suzuka. There's going to be, I don't think there's going to be any rain planned for it, so we're going to be seeing some very quick drivers going around a very fast flowing track, and I'm going to be very much looking forward to it. So until next time, thank you.
Absolutely, it's a high-speed circuit, so I'm sure we'll see some high-speed racing, some high-speed qualifying, and some high-speed crashes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, until next time, next week is going to be the finale, and always stay tuned for Thursdays when we do the stewards meeting, where we're going to be talking about a lot of these different crashes and incidents that happened during the race. But yeah, until next time, guys, it's a goodbye from me.
And then arrivederci from me. Good night, guys.